Something changed, and most truck owners don't even realize it happened to them. You used to be able to walk into your garage on a Saturday morning, grab a drain pan, slide under your truck, pull the plug, swap the filter, refill with the right oil. Done. 30 minutes, maybe 45 if you were being careful. Nobody asked you permission. Nobody charged you a subscription fee. You owned the truck. You owned the maintenance. That world is gone. Right now, if you drive a 2018 or newer Ford F-150, a 2019 or newer Silverado, or a 2020 or newer Ram 1500, changing your own oil is only half the job. And the half you can't do, the half that used to take 30 seconds, now requires either a dealer visit, a $500 scan tool, or a monthly software subscription you have to beg a corporation to sell you. The oil life monitor on your dash won't reset without proprietary software. The maintenance reminder won't clear. And in some cases, the truck will flag a fault code as if something went wrong. Your truck thinks you skipped the service, even if you just did it perfectly with better oil than the dealer uses. This is not an accident. This is not a software bug they forgot to fix. This is a deliberate system. It was designed this way, and the people who designed it are making billions of dollars because of it. I'm going to tell you exactly how it works. I'm going to tell you when it started, who's behind it, and what you can still do about it. Because you deserve to know what was taken from you, and you deserve to know how to fight back. My name is Wade Tucker. I've been wrenching on trucks for 38 years. I started in a shop in Tulsa, Oklahoma, back when a Ford pickup had a carbureted engine and a manual choke. I've worked on everything from a beat-up 1972 F-100 to a fully loaded 2023 Ram 1500 TRX. I've seen this industry change from the inside. I've watched it go from a trade built on knowledge and hard work to a system designed to extract money from the people who can least afford it. If you work on your own truck, if you care about not being ripped off by a dealer service department, if you believe you should have the right to maintain the machine you paid for, this channel is for you. Hit subscribe right now. Every video I put out is designed to keep money in your pocket and out of theirs. And drop a comment below telling me what truck you're driving and what year it is. I want to know who's watching. Now let's get into the dealer lockout, because this thing runs deeper than most people think. The dealer lockout, how modern trucks lock you out of your own maintenance. Let's start with the oil life monitor. Every modern truck has one. It's a software algorithm that calculates when your oil needs to be changed based on driving conditions, engine load, mileage, and temperature cycles. It's actually reasonably smart. For most drivers, it works fine. The problem is not the monitor itself. The problem is what happens when you change the oil yourself and try to reset it. On a 2024 Ford F-150 with the 3.5-liter Power Boost hybrid, resetting the oil life monitor through the instrument cluster still works, if you know the button sequence. Ford held on to that feature, for now. But the deeper issue on Ford trucks is something called the Intelligent Oil Life Monitor, or IOLM, which feeds data into Ford's telematics system. And if your truck is connected, if you use the Ford Pass app, if your truck is on Ford's connected services, that data syncs to Ford's servers. Your maintenance history is theirs. Your driving pattern is theirs. More important, if your truck needs a powertrain control module calibration update, or if you've had any emissions-related work done, the Ford Integrated Diagnostic System, IDS, is required to clear and recalibrate. IDS is Ford's proprietary dealer software. A full IDS license costs around $1,000 a year for independent shops. Dealers pay a different rate through their franchise agreement. Regular people can't buy it at all. General Motors is the same story. The MDI-2, Multiple Diagnostic Interface 2, is GM's dealer tool. The software that runs through it is called GDS-2, Global Diagnostic System 2. It handles everything from module programming to oil life resets on trucks where the cluster reset has been disabled. On the 2019 and newer Silverado 1500 with the 3-liter Duramax diesel, certain maintenance resets require GDS-2. The tool itself runs around $3,500. The software subscription is on top of that. Dealers get it bundled. Independent shops pay annual fees. You, the owner, are simply not the customer they're selling to. Ram is arguably the worst. Stellantis uses a system called YTech 2.0. It's cloud-based. You can't just buy the software and run it offline. You have to be connected to Stellantis servers every time you use it. The YTech 2.0 subscription for a professional shop is roughly $1,500 a year. The MicroPod 2 hardware interface is another $500 to $800. On the 2019 and newer Ram 1500 with the e-Torque mild hybrid system, certain oil service resets and battery management recalibrations require YTech access. Period. No workaround. Here is what happens in the real world when you do an oil change on one of these trucks without the proper reset. Best case scenario, your oil life monitor stays at whatever percentage it was at. Your dash shows an orange wrench or a maintenance message. It's annoying. Your service history in the truck's memory shows the oil was never changed. If you ever need warranty work and the dealer pulls codes, that gap in service history can and has been used to deny warranty claims. Worst case scenario, and this happens more than you'd think, the truck logs a soft fault. On some Ram 1500 diesel trucks, skipping the oil service reset through YTech can interfere with the exhaust aftertreatment regeneration interval calculations. The truck thinks the oil is old. It modifies regen cycles accordingly. Fuel economy drops, you get a warning light. You take it to the dealer. They charge you $150 to plug in their tool and tell you the oil hasn't been reset properly. Then they try to upsell you on a full service. This is not a theoretical scenario. I hear this story every single month from people in the comments and in my inbox. And none of this even touches on firmware. Modern trucks, 2020 and up across all three major brands, receive over-the-air firmware updates. Ford's Blue Cruise, GM's Super Cruise, Ram's Uconnect updates. Some of these updates affect calibration tables in the powertrain control module. After a firmware update, certain adaptations need to be relearned. On some trucks, the oil change interval recalculation algorithm itself gets updated. Your aftermarket scan tool may not even speak the right protocol after a firmware update. The dealer's tool gets the update automatically. Yours becomes partially obsolete. Here is the picture it paints when you put it all together. You cannot fully reset your own oil service on a late model Ram 1500 diesel without $1,500 a year in software fees. You cannot reprogram a module on a modern F-150 without Ford IDS. You cannot run a complete diagnostic on a new Silverado without GM's MDI2 and a GDS2 subscription. The tools exist. The knowledge exists. You are simply being walled off from them. Legally, intentionally, profitably. This is the lockout. It's not a wall you hit all at once. It's a system of 100 small dependencies that make independent maintenance harder and harder until you give up and go back to the dealer. And that is exactly what they want you to do. The history, how we got here, and who built this system. Let me take you back to 1995. I had a customer come in with a 1995 Chevy CK 1500, 5.7-liter Vortec V8. Best small block GM ever put in a truck, in my opinion. He wanted an oil change and a tune-up. I drained the oil, changed the filter, topped it off with Mobil 1 5W30, cleared the oil light by turning the key on and off 3 times with the gas pedal held down. Done. No software, no subscription, no handshake with a GM server in Detroit. The tune-up was the same. I pulled the cap, the rotor, the plugs, the wires, checked the timing with a light, set it to spec, 6 degrees BTDC for that engine at sea level, put it all back together. The whole job took me 2 hours, start to finish. That truck ran better when he drove out than when he drove in. That was possible because the 1995 CK was yours. The mechanical systems were yours to access. The electrical systems were straightforward. There was no proprietary protocol between you and your own engine. Now look at a 2024 Silverado 1500 with the 2.7-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. It has 11 different control modules. The engine management system alone runs on a CAN bus protocol that has evolved 3 times since 2015. The oil change reminder can be reset through the DIC, Driver Information Center, but any calibration work on the ECM requires GM's tools. Any active fuel management system recalibration requires GDS2, and the warranty terms are structured to push you toward dealerships for anything beyond a basic fluid change. The contrast is not subtle. In 1995, you could fix almost anything on your own truck with a factory service manual, a decent set of wrenches, and time. In 2024, there is an entire category of maintenance that is legally and technically restricted to dealer-approved tooling. So when did this lockout start? Roughly between 2010 and 2018, depending on the brand. The real turning point was the proliferation of CAN bus architecture across the full truck lineup. CAN bus, Controller Area Network, was mandated for OBD2 compliance starting in 2008 for all vehicles sold in the United States. But the manufacturers used OBD2 compliance as a floor, not a ceiling. They built proprietary layers on top of it, enhanced diagnostics, brand-specific PIDs, parameter IDs, that standard OBD2 scanners can't read, module programming protocols that only work with their own tools. Ford started restricting PCM programming to IDS around 2012 with the introduction of the 3.5-liter EcoBoost in the F-150. The complexity of that engine, direct injection, twin turbos, variable cam timing, gave them justification to say that dealer tools were necessary for proper calibration. Whether that was technically true or not, they used it. GM pushed deeper into GDS2 requirements with the Gen 5 LT small block in 2014. Ram started locking down diagnostics more aggressively when Fiat Chrysler took over and introduced YTech 2.0 around 2016. By 2018, all three major truck manufacturers had systems in place that made full independent maintenance significantly more difficult than it had been in 2008. There's another dimension to this that most people miss. It's not just about service revenue, it's about data. Ford Financial Services, GM Financial, Stellantis Financial Services. These are not just loan companies, they are data companies. Every time your truck connects to their servers, for an OTA update, for a telematics sync, for a remote start command through an app, data is transmitted. Driving habits, maintenance intervals, braking patterns, location history, engine load profiles. That data has value to insurers, to fleet companies, to advertisers, to government regulators. Your truck is a data collection device that you paid $55,000 for. And every time the lockout sends you back to a dealer for a service you used to do yourself, they capture both the revenue from the service and the data from the diagnostic connection. Your truck gets plugged into their system. They see everything. They log it. They own it. Who benefits financially from the lockout? Let me give you concrete numbers. A dealer oil change on a 2024 F-150 with the 3.5-liter power boost runs between $90 and $140 at most Ford dealerships. The oil and filter cost may be $35 if you buy it yourself at retail. The labor is 20 minutes. The profit margin on that service visit, including the upsells they push on every vehicle that comes through, is enormous. Multiply that by the millions of F-150s on the road. Do the math. Now multiply it by Ram trucks, by Silverados, by every late model pickup whose owner feels like they don't have a choice. The lockout is not a side effect of modern engineering. It is a revenue strategy. It was built with intention, expanded with intention, and defended with intention. The complexity of modern trucks provided cover, but complexity is not the cause. Control is the cause. What you can still do, fighting back without losing the battle. I want to be very clear about something. I am not telling you to give up. I am telling you to be smart. There are still significant options available to truck owners who want to maintain their own vehicles. Let me go through them honestly. First, trucks built before 2003. If you are in the market for a truck and you want full ownership of your maintenance, buy old. A 1999 Ford F-150 with the 4.6-liter V8. A 2001 Silverado 1500 with the 5.3-liter Vortec. A 2002 Ram 1500 with the 5.9-liter Magnum. These trucks still have OBD2 ports. They still use standard protocols. You can buy a basic scanner for $80 and read every fault code on the vehicle. Oil changes take 30 minutes and a $25 drain pan. There is no subscription involved. There is no server in Detroit or Auburn Hills that needs to be notified. Yes, they have more miles. Yes, they need more mechanical attention, but you can give them that attention yourself without permission from anyone. Second, ForeScan for Ford owners. This is the single best free tool available for Ford truck owners right now. ForeScan is a Windows-based diagnostic application that uses Ford's own enhanced protocol, above OBD2, to access modules that standard scanners cannot reach. You need a compatible OBD2 adapter. The OBD Link EX is the one I recommend, around $50. Plug it into your truck's OBD port. Connect to your laptop via USB. Open ForeScan. With ForeScan, you can reset the oil life monitor on virtually every Ford F-150 from 2004 through 2023. You can read and clear ABS codes. You can disable the seatbelt chime. You can enable features that Ford locks out through the instrument cluster menus. On the 2015 and newer F-150 aluminum body trucks, ForeScan gives you access to PATS, Passive Anti-Theft System, configurations that dealers charge hundreds of dollars to adjust. ForeScan does not give you full IDS capability. You still cannot program a new PCM without IDS, but for day-to-day maintenance and diagnostics, ForeScan is genuinely powerful, and the basic version is free. Third, for GM owners, look at the MDI clone market. Third-party MDI2 clones are available from multiple sources online. Quality varies. Some work better than others. But a functioning MDI2 clone running the free GDS2 trial, which gives you limited but real access to GM's diagnostic system, can handle a lot of basic maintenance resets on trucks through 2021. The 2022 and newer trucks are harder because GM tightened the authentication protocols. But it's not nothing. For Ram owners, the situation is tougher. YTech 2.0 is fully cloud-based and the authentication is tied to Stellantis servers. However, older YTech 1.0 software, which covers Ram trucks through about 2017, can still be found and runs offline. If you have a 2015 through 2017 Ram 1500, the original YTech with the Star Mobile hardware still works and can handle all the resets you need. Fourth, the right to repair movement. This is important and I want you to pay attention to it. Massachusetts passed a right to repair law for automotive telematics data in 2020. It required manufacturers to provide third-party access to the same data streams that dealer tools access. The manufacturers, Ford, GM, and Stellantis included, immediately filed suit to block it. As of this recording, the legal battle is ongoing. At the federal level, the FTC has weighed in on right to repair as a general consumer protection issue. John Deere settled a right to repair agreement with farmers in 2023. That was a major precedent. Trucks are next in line. The political pressure is building on both sides of the aisle because this isn't a left or right issue. It's an ownership issue. It's an economic issue. People who work for a living buy trucks, and people who work for a living are the ones getting squeezed. If you care about this issue, and you should, contact your representative. Tell them you bought a truck and you can't fully reset the oil without a software subscription. That message lands because it's simple and it's true. Fifth, independent shops with professional tools. Not all independent shops are helpless. Many have invested in full capability scan tools. Snap-on's Zeus platform, Autel's MaxiSys Ultra. These tools are expensive. The Zeus runs over $10,000, but a well-equipped independent shop running one of these can do most of what a dealer can do, minus the most recent OTA-dependent programming functions. Find an independent shop that has invested in these tools. Ask them directly, do you have bi-directional control on my truck's model year? Can you reset the oil service reminder and run a full health scan? If they say yes and they can prove it, use them. They will charge you less than the dealer. They will treat you better than the dealer. And your money stays in the local economy instead of going to a franchise operation. Sixth, document everything. If you do your own oil change, keep the receipt from the auto parts store. Write down the date, the mileage, the oil brand, the viscosity, the filter part number. Keep that paper in the glove box. If a dealer ever tries to use your maintenance history against a warranty claim, that documentation is your defense. The burden of proof in a warranty dispute in the United States is on the manufacturer to demonstrate that your maintenance caused the failure, not on you to prove that you maintained it correctly. That is the Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act. Learn it, know it, use it. It is one of the few laws that is actually on your side. Seventh, community knowledge. Join forums. F150forum.com has hundreds of thousands of members. Dodge Talk, GMTrucks.com. These communities have years of documented experience with exactly these issues. Somebody has already fought the battle you're about to fight. Find them. Read what they did. Build on their work. The manufacturers count on you feeling isolated. They count on you thinking you're the only one dealing with this. You're not. There are millions of truck owners in exactly the same situation. When we talk to each other, when we share information, when we document what works and what doesn't, we become harder to exploit. That is the bottom line. They built the walls. But walls have doors. You just have to know where to look. This is your truck. I want to close with something that isn't technical. When you buy a truck, when you spend $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 of money you worked hard to earn, you are supposed to own that machine, not lease access to its software, not subscribe to its maintenance protocols. Own it. Your grandfather bought a truck and he could fix everything on it himself with a set of wrenches and a factory service manual. That wasn't a special skill. That was the baseline expectation. You bought it, you owned it, you could work on it. The dealer was an option, not a requirement. That baseline is being eroded. Not because trucks have gotten too complicated for real mechanics. They haven't. I work on these trucks every week. I understand the systems. The complexity is manageable. The barrier is not technical. It's legal and commercial. The manufacturers built walls not because they had to, but because they could, because they saw a revenue opportunity in the space between you and your own engine. That should make you angry. It makes me angry. I've been wrenching for 38 years and I've watched this industry slowly decide that the person who paid for the truck is the least important party in the maintenance equation. The dealer gets software access. The manufacturer gets your data. The subscription service gets your annual fee. And you, the one who actually bought the machine, who drives it to work every morning, who hauls the loads and pays the insurance and fills the tank, you're the one who has to ask permission to change your own oil. No, that's not how it's supposed to work. And the more people understand what's been done to them, the harder it becomes to keep doing it. So here's what I want you to do right now. Leave a comment below. Tell me what truck you drive and what year it is. Tell me if you've run into this lockout yourself, if you've tried to reset an oil monitor and hit a wall, if a dealer has charged you for something you should have been able to do yourself, if you've been told you voided a warranty because you changed your own oil. I read every comment. I respond when I can. Your experience matters because it helps me figure out what videos to make next. And subscribe, not because I need the numbers, because every video I make is designed to give you one more piece of information that keeps you out of a dealer service lane and in control of your own truck. That's the whole point. That's why I'm here. That's what this channel is. The knowledge belongs to you. I'm just the guy who puts it together and hands it over. Stay wrenching.